welcome. We're super excited to have Lorna and Andres here. They will be talking about applications and personal statements for the United Kingdom application process. So without further ado, Lorna and Andres, let us get started on how your tips are and your advice and just the system in general. We are going to pull up your slides so that we can have them, and then we will get started. Okay.
That's great, thank you. Can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So hi everyone, thank you so much for coming in and listening to our session. My name is Lorna and I'm the Regional Manager at the University of Warwick. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that later. And I'm a staff member. My job is to recruit students, and I'm joined from Bournemouth University by Andres Alvarez. Let's say hi, Andres.
Thank you. Hi guys, my name is Andres. I'm from Colombia. I was a BU student for 4 years, so I'll be sharing all my perspective as an international student.
Fantastic, thank you. Right, so we're going to start off by giving you a brief overview of each of our universities before we then get into the nitty-gritty of the UCAS application and the personal statement. So I mentioned I work at the University of Warwick. This is a member of the Russell Group, which, in case you're not aware, is kind of like the Ivy League of the US. So it's a group of 24 research-intensive universities dotted all over the UK. So we have some really old and really famous ones, such as Oxford, Cambridge, Edinburgh, Manchester. But Warwick is a newer university. We are only about 50 years old, but we have come up in the rankings and we are top 100 in the world, top 10 in the UK. So we've done very well for a short space of time of being a university. In terms of location, I don't know how well you know the UK, but Warwick is based in the centre of the UK, in the Midlands. We're on the edge of a city called Coventry, and it's about 1 hour on a train from London. We are a medium-sized university and we have about 28,500 students, but it's a really international campus. We have students from over 145 different nationalities, and that's not just students, it's also our academics as well. So it's a really nice mix and diverse mix of people learning together all on the one campus. The campus itself can feel like a small city because of how many students that we have, and it's very walkable, lots of things within a 5 or 10 minute walking distance, all of your classes, coffee shops, nightclub, doctor's surgery, cinema, supermarket, all of these different things, all available on campus. And we have many different courses that you can apply for, but they're spread across 3 faculties. So we have arts and humanities, STEM, so science, technology, engineering and medicine, and our social science courses. So that's a very whistle-stop tour of Warwick. I'll now pass over to Andres to talk about Bournemouth.
Thank you, Lorna. So, well, Bournemouth University was established in 1992. It specializes in professionally oriented programs. You know, this university is very strategically located. We are only 2 hours away from London, and we are between, you know, a beautiful beach and the rural area of Dorset. So it's a very special place in the UK. We are located in the southwest coast of England, so all like the south part of it. We have around 19,000 students. Out of those, 3,000 are international from over 135 countries. One of the things that Bournemouth has is like it has a very international community, especially for postgrad programs. We have work placements available on all undergrad and postgrad courses. 37% of BU students undertake a 1-year placement. In my case, I did a 1-year placement in Greece. So that's one of the big advantages of, you know, having that placement opportunity, traveling. We have the AACSB accreditation, which basically places BU's business school in the world's top 500%. We are in the top 10 in the UK for tourism and journalism, #1 for social work, and top 10 in engineering and in design, according to the Guardian University Guide 2021. And we are #1 in the US-based magazine animation career review for 2021. So we are, the animation course at Bournemouth is really, really amazing. So next slide.
Thank you so much, Andres. Right, okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the general application process and some of the differences that you might notice in between applying to the UK or applying to the United States. So first of all, why do students choose to come to the UK when you have a very good education system in the US? Well, our degrees are shorter. And that's because our degrees are more focused. So our degrees are typically 3 years in length. They can be extended if you take a year abroad or other such things. But your basic bachelor degree is typically 3 years in length. And that's because you apply straight to the course that you want to study at. So instead of in the US, you might do your first year and you'll have classes in maths and English and PE and different things. In the UK, if you want to apply for computer science, that's what you're going to study. So you go straight into this academic focused course, and that's how we can condense our degrees into 3 years rather than slightly longer ones. So because our academic structure in the UK is different to that of the in North America, that means our application process is quite different as well. So in the US, again, they might be looking for you as a fit to the whole university because you don't have to specify which course you want to study yet. But in the UK, if you're applying straight for history or straight for economics, that's what the majority of your personal statement will be about, because that's what we're judging you on. We want to see if you've made the right decision to apply for this course and that you're going to be a good fit and that you're passionate. Because once you started, it's quite hard to change courses because the content of what you study moves forward so quickly. You couldn't change after the first semester. You've already done too much in that one subject. So you do need to think very carefully. If you're very focused and you know the course you want to do, then the UK might be better. If you haven't got an idea and you feel you need a bit more time thinking about it, then the more flexible US route may be preferable to you. So those are the main differences. So UK university admissions is based on your academic qualifications, and they can be your past qualifications and any you have yet to take, your intellectual ability and your potential. And again, that can come from your exam results, from your references, your personal statement, and your passion and enthusiasm for the subject that you're applying for. So we look at all of these to make sure that you're the right fit, not just for the university, but for the course that you're applying for as well. And what this means about admissions, it means that it's a very transparent process in admissions. So we don't have quotas that we need to fill up for certain countries and different things like that. We look purely at the academic basis and the personal statement and the content of the application. And if you tick those boxes, you're very likely to get an offer. So we don't have to think, oh, no, we haven't got enough students from California or something. It's a very different approach. It's just transparent all the way through. And you can apply up to 5 programs with 1 application via the UCAS. And I'm going to talk about UCAS on the next slide. So if I can have the next slide, please, Christy. Thank you so much. Okay, so the application process, some people might say that UCAS is a little bit similar to the Common App in the fact that you submit 1 application, it can go to several different universities. So you get 5 choices. They can be 5 courses at 5 different universities, or you could apply for a couple of courses at the same university. There are different deadlines depending on the courses that you apply for. So if you're really ambitious and you're looking to apply for Oxford and Cambridge, or you want to go into something very specialised such as veterinary college, medicine or dentistry, you have quite an early application deadline. So UCAS opens at the start of September. And for those courses, it closes on the 15th of October. So you only have about 6 weeks to get your application in. But for the rest of us mere mortals and the courses that we have on offer, we recommend that you apply before the last Wednesday in January. And this year it's going to be the 26th of January. And that allows you equal consideration. So what that means is that whether you apply on the 1st of September or the 25th of January, we will look at your application in exactly the same way, rather than say, oh no, we've got too many applications now for that course, we're going to close it. After the 26th of January, we can start to do that, and we will do that for our competitive courses. But for up until that deadline, it's equal consideration. What I should bear in mind, though, is if your school is telling you that no, they want to submit UCAS forms before the winter break, you may have your own internal deadlines and things like that that you need to look for. The application fee is about $37 for a single application. Oh, sorry, for 5 choices and $30 for one. So it's very cost effective to apply for all 5 university. And you do everything through the UCAS form. So you apply, you can check on your decisions, you can make your firm choices once you've got your offers back. It's all done through this UCAS track. It's not done with direct liaison with the universities. So it's very easy just to keep track of everything that you're looking at in that one place. Can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So the application, so what sort of thing do we look at in the application? So it's very nicely set out into different sections. So it's quite easy to work through once you're familiar with it. And you can save it and go back to it. You don't need to do everything all in the same sitting. So personal details will be the first section, so name, contact details, date of birth, these sorts of things. And you can also have a named contact or nominated access. So if you want a parent or guardian or something like that to be able to go onto your UCAS account or liaise with universities on your behalf, you can do that, and that will be sent to the universities so that we can check, yes, okay, it's fine that we can speak to your parent on your behalf for your application form. You also get your choices. So as I've mentioned, they are 5 choices. They can either be 5 different universities for the same course or 2 from one university in a similar course. I would say that all of the courses ought to be along a similar line, and that's down to the personal statement, and Andres will talk about that a little bit later, because you only get the one personal statement. So if you apply to French studies at one university and biology at another, it's going to be quite hard to fit in a personal statement that shows your passion for both of those subjects. So do think very carefully about the area that you want to study before you submit your UCAS application. The next section is your education. So this is where you can put your academic history in. And there's also a section for any other exams that you are yet to take. So if you've still got outstanding APs or you're taking the IB, you can say that I am due to take these and we will look for predicted grades. Some universities will within your references from your school. The employment section isn't essential, but if you have any work experience that you feel you'd like to talk about, you can do that, but it's more paid employment, I think, that people are generally tending to look for. And we do appreciate that most students won't have a massive CV, so it's absolutely fine to leave that blank if you like. The personal statement I'll leave to Andres to talk about. But then the reference is from one of your teachers at your most recent school, telling us how amazing you are and what a great fit you are for university. And if you do have any outstanding exams you need to take, then we will contact them and ask for predictions on what they think you're likely to get in those grades. So that's everything very quickly from UCAS. So I'll now pass over to Andres to talk about the personal statement.
Thank you, Lorna. So the personal statement, right? And why is it important? I would say basically it would influence the decision of the university making an offer or not. And I had to live that myself. Like I remember I had to apply 2 times, and because I didn't put much importance into my personal statement, it was a huge mistake. So treat the personal statement as your kind of like your cover letter for what you're trying to, for the subject you're applying to, and for the university you really want to get into, right? This is basically your opportunity to demonstrate that you are a good fit, that you and the university match, and it's going to work out. Basically, that's how I saw it. I saw it as like I was selling myself to the university. And on UCAS, you're allowed to write 4,000 characters, so that's 47 lines. You can get advice from advisors, perhaps proofreading, but always make sure you are submitting your own original work. Don't get anyone else to write the personal statement on your behalf. It makes no sense. This is your personal thing. It's for you, and it's basically making sure that you're going to fit right in the university you're applying to. So just treat it as something that it's a piece of work that comes from you, and it's I saw it like if I was putting all my effort for the past 2 years at high school, I was writing all of that and trying to show like why I really wanted to do filmmaking in the UK, and specifically for me at Bournemouth Uni. Remember that, as Lorna said, the statement goes to all universities. So trying to, talk about 3 different subjects, or that you're applying to 3 different subjects in one personal statement would be tricky. Choose one, or that would be my opinion, my suggestion. Choose one, and then, stick to that one and apply if you're going to apply, in bulk using UCAS. Like I did media production, and I applied to 4 universities, same personal statement, and it worked out. So when you're writing your personal statement, make sure you're focusing at least 80% on the subject of study, and always try to link it back to your own, personal experience. Always try to show the things that you've done, if it's undergrad, things that you've done, in high school, how that relates to the subject of study. And hopefully, like you'll be able to read curriculums from different universities and try to match the personal statement to that curriculum or to that approach of teaching and learning. And then the other 20%, which is extracurricular activities, it is a smaller part, but it's still important. Like for me, it really mattered to show that I'm more than just the academic part. Like I'm a whole human being that also does things outside uni, and it's outside high school at that time. So I think showing that also, university values that, because especially what I found in the UK is that like you have a lot of free time to do other things, right? Because they're developing you not just like as an academic and like as a student, but also as a person. So make sure you're able to show that. And please don't use the same personal statement for the UK and the US like I did, because I applied to the US as well, and that's why I had to do it twice. So that's me just giving like my advice from my own mistakes and then how I did it right. Now, very quickly, guys, what to include in that personal statement. So make sure you're including, reasons for applying for the course and how it's going to benefit you in the future. Emphasize, as I said, where you achieve, exemplary standard in your studies, and how that relates back to your course. So in my case, because I did filmmaking on my IB, it was very easy to just, pinpoint those like the extended essay and different coursework that would really help me to be successful in my course in the UK. Also try to add, life or work experiences that you've had related to the subject, even if it's volunteering. Like I would even add, I volunteered on this film shoot for 1 month, and like that really, boosted my personal statement. Add relevant skills and qualities you have, which again will make you a strong candidate for the course. And even like try to look for soft skills that you can, in a way, like use to your advantage for that course you're applying to. Make sure you add your career aspirations as soon as you finish your course, as a way of showing like it doesn't mean that you have to do that. Like I thought I was going to be into fiction films, and now I'm into documentary films, but at least you have like a plan, and you're showing that you're very proactive in thinking, I know this is what I want, and that's why I'm applying to this university, and like this is my plan. I'm executing that plan. Like always, for me, was always showing that I was very proactive. Show what motivates you, and make sure that that you're actually showing that motivation is intrinsical, like it's your own. It comes from who you want to be as a person, I guess, not because you have to apply to a course, because again, it's about selling yourself. And finally, like add those relevant extracurricular activities. I think it will help boosting your personal statement. Okay, that will be all from my side.
Thanks so much. I think we're practically at the 20 minutes. I can see there's one question that's come into the chat about any fee waivers available for UCAS. That's something that you'd need to look at the UCAS website for. So UCAS is really helpful with lots of interesting links and videos and information about the UCAS process. It's not down to us as individual universities, because the application is managed through UCAS. So that would be your first place to go.
Great. And I know for students, if you're watching through Facebook or Instagram or even YouTube, we'll post the URL link for the fair if you have not registered. If you have registered for the Student World Fair, both Lorna and Andres will be there for you to ask questions, and go to their booth. If you haven't registered, then definitely register. You can screenshot the link that you're able to see, and then definitely visit them. We can answer one more question. How much is dorming in the UK?
I think that very much depends on the city that you want to live in, and also the type of halls of residence that you want to live in. So, for example, at Warwick, we have different types of accommodations. Some have a shared bathroom, others have a private bathroom, and the rents will reflect that. And also, if you want to live in London, it's typically more expensive than it is in other areas of the UK. So that there's quite a lot to think about. General rule of living that the government says for their visas is you need approximately just over £1,000 per month. I don't know how you found that as to your experience, Andres, when you were being a student.
Yeah, so first year I paid monthly £525, 525 a month. Second year I was paying 400, third year 370. So I was going down as I progressed, which was really good. So you can really find, at least in Bournemouth, different, as you say, different types of accommodations depending on what you want and your budget and everything else.
Awesome. Well, if you have other questions, please go to Lorna and to Andres' booth during the Student World Fair and ask them these questions. They'll have all of the tuition costs and pricing for you. You can ask them those questions about your programs as well. And again, if you're joining us through a broadcast stream, then just screenshot the link so you can register and ask them too. Thank you guys so much, and we look forward to more students connecting with you.
Thanks so much for having us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.